the assassination. People bring up all these theories about the assassination. They know they're not getting the real story, even though Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are unimpeachable in their integrity and they're leading the investigation. And it was brought up to me over the weekend. I was talking to a member of the Turning Point leadership, and they said it kind of hurts the family when they keep bringing up that they don't have the real killer, that these conspiracy theories, and we're being lied to. People should really think about that before they hop behind a microphone.
Well, she talks about that, and that was a tough question for her to answer, but she answered it, and she answered it very honestly. And, you know, you and I, we all know we have a right to question crime in the United States of America, but it gets to a certain point where you go too far. And she talks about where that is and how she feels about that as a widow, as a mother. She talks about whether she's seen the video. And that was a real struggle for her too. So, you know, she really shared a lot in this interview, and it took a lot of bravery, but she did it with class, and she did it with dignity.
Well, so did you. It's an excellent interview. I know the entire country is going to be tuning in at 8 p.m. tonight on Jesse Watters Primetime. Excellent job. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
Got it.
You got it. So here we go. And get this, Fox News alert. Right now, President Trump is speaking at the White House during a breakfast with the GOP senators. Let's listen in.
And it's affecting the stock market now a little bit. But the stock market, as of Friday, has hit many record highs during the last 9 months, many. And it will again. This is just the beginning, because when these plants that are being built right now start opening up, we've never had anything like this. There's a boom. There's a construction boom right now, but that's going to be bigger than that. That's going to be an economic boom as soon as they open up, and it's going to be something special. We have car companies coming in.
Yeah, you can't forget about their big, beautiful bill.
I said, "Oh, you're rich." I said, "How much of the company do you own?" 92.1%. I said, "I'm glad you said the one. He wants to be." I said, "You're a rich guy." And he said, "I'm investing $10 billion in the U.S. And you know who I'm talking about, right? You introduced me, Mr. Senator. You introduced me originally when you were the ambassador to Japan. He's still good. He's still strong. But he had no interest in investing in this country. Now he's investing $10 billion as of 1 week ago in building new plants. We have auto plants coming in incredibly, but we have AI and all of them. And we can't be extorted to give $1.5 trillion to people that came into the country illegally, many from prisons, many drug dealers. A lot of people came in from mental institutions. They want to give a lot of money to the people that came in illegally. We have to get them out. We can't, no country can sustain that. That's not like an attack on our country. In no country, these are not going to be productive people. These are going to be anti-productive people. And we can all have big hearts. I have a bigger heart than anybody, but we can't let that happen. It's time for Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation. There'll be no legislation passed for 3.25. We have 3.25 years, so that's a long time. But when they can't do an extension, and John, I think they've done an extension every single time they've ever been asked forever. This is the first time they haven't done an extension. Extensions are supposed to be easy, but if they won't do an extension, they won't do any bill, even a simple bill. Now, we should do our own bills. We should get out. We should do our own bills. We should open up. We should start tonight with the country's open. Congratulations. Then we should pass voter ID. We should pass no mail-in voting. We should pass all the things that we want to pass to make our elections secure and safe, because California is a disaster. Many of the states are disasters. But can you imagine when they vote almost unanimously against voter ID? All we want is voter ID. You go to a grocery store, you have to give ID. You go to a gas station, you give ID. But for voting, they want no voter ID. It's only for one reason, because they cheat. We would pass that in 15 minutes. If you don't get it, you'll never pass that. You'll never talk about mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots make it automatically corrupt. If you have mail-in ballots, automatically it's correct. Even Jimmy Carter, they had the Carter Commission after he got out of office, and he had a group of very distinguished people, Democrats and Republicans, and they passed They recommended things take place. It was a long time ago. And they said about mail-in ballots, if there is mail-in ballots, there will definitely be corruption because, they pass through too many hands. I mean, you go in to vote and they want you. Even me, I went into Palm Beach. You go in to vote, they want your card, you're this, you're that. They say, I'm sorry to do this, sir, but I have to look at your identification. I said, that's all right. I love that. But, you're really not going to get away with much. It was very
read between the lines.
Good, the way it's supposed to be. But these people don't want that. They have legislation in California where it's illegal to ask somebody for voter ID. If you ask somebody for voter ID, if you're an official and you say, I'd like to see your voter ID, they can arrest you. Okay? They can arrest you because they want to cheat. And they get away with it. And the Republicans let them get away with it. And we won't do that if we have to filibuster. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And we're going to see if we can sway, because I know we have a lot of, not a lot, I'd say half feel this way, maybe a little bit less than half. And it's time to have a really good talk. If I thought that they weren't going to pass the filibuster, I wouldn't even bring it up. They're going to pass it within the first hour. And if they take power, and it's more likely that they take power if we don't do it, because we're not going to be passing any legislation, not going to approve anything. We're going to go 3.25 years. There won't be one bill that we're going to pass. Because the easiest thing to pass is exactly right now what they won't pass. And they'll do that and they'll wreak havoc. But let's assume they get it. They're doing it anyway. So it wouldn't matter. They're doing it anyway. And, I have a case where I have great U.S. attorneys that can't be approved because of the blue slips. The blue slips, I think you should terminate blue slips too. It's a mental termination because it's really a custom. But if you have a Democrat senator or two is bad, but it doesn't make any difference. If you have one senator writes a negative letter on some great U.S. attorney, we had it in Manhattan, Southern District. Jay Clayton, one of the most respected lawyers in the whole country, by far, one of the most respected, and couldn't get approved. The courts approved him. The courts couldn't believe it. They did it like instantly. He went to the best schools, got the best marks, top of his class, everything was perfect. I mean, he was lived the perfect life. Went to Sullivan and Cromwell, almost immediately became the head of Sullivan and Cromwell, the most prestigious law firm, I would say, in the country, just about, whether it's Sullivan or 2 or 3 I could name, but Sullivan, I would say, really, maybe number one. He was the head of Sullivan and Cromwell for like 20 years. He went to the SEC, was flawless. He did it for me. He was the SEC chairman. He was flawless. Then he went to Apollo, where he was the chairman of Apollo, and was flawless. Everything went good. The stock went through the roof and everything. I asked him to go to the Southern District, and he said, I'll do what you'd like to do, sir. He's got very high quality.
Yeah, yeah, because Zach Bunyan Howard put up Psalms. His word was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. I think that's Psalm 17.
And the courts actually said, you're not approving Jay Clayton, right, Lindsay? You heard this. The courts actually interceded, and they approved it. But that's an unusual guy. We have other people that are really good, but people don't know how good. Top students, top colleges, and they're U.S. attorneys, and they won't be approved. They're not going to be approved. And we have one in Los Angeles who's phenomenal. The senators, the Democrats are, again, they're kamikazes. The Democrats are not going to approve them. Blue slips are a disaster. So the only people I can get approved are Democrats. I was told that by the Democrats. We'll only approve Democrats. I said, really? Is that right? It's not going to work that way. Not going to work that way with me. But the blue slips are a total disaster. I have 10 people right now that are doing a phenomenal job, and they will be out of office pretty soon. They've got another 2-3 weeks, a couple of them, and then they're going to have to leave.
There you go. See?
And it's actually a blight on their record because, nobody knows why they're there. But it looks like they served 8 weeks and then they had to leave. But they're not going to get the approval because the Democrat radical left lunatic senators are saying you can't. We're not going to approve you. And if we're not going to approve you, I had actually one Republican who got 2 great letters, but it turned out that he was a rhino, but that was a nice term for him. Now, he got 2 letters of approval, and when I said 2 Democrats...
Yeah, so Salaka, now what Trump is doing as we go into psychological warfare, All right, because he playing on the minds of the people. All right, that's why I say a prudent man, all right, foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are destroyed. See, the simple believe in every word, but a prudent man look well to his going. So when you listen to Donald Trump, all right, yeah, it sound good. It sound good to the mass of what he's saying, how they cheat with the paper. Now we're gonna turn it digital, therefore we can know this plan to the MOTB, but it's gonna start with their digital ID. That's why he's saying you gotta go in the grocery store, but I mean in the corner store in California, in certain places, it's illegal to ask somebody for their ID. You ain't never went in the fucking store and tried to buy a cigar or a fucking beer and they did not ask you for your ID. You see? Well, here it is. This is way to set up, all right, the new world order, but it's going to start in that fashion just along with the digital ID. Why? Because they tap to AI. And we understand that everything is going digital. So these are the beginning stages of him setting up nowhere else to be able to buy or sell and eat. But it started now, it's just as small as a digital ID. All right, so when that paper is done away with, you can't track nothing. All right, everything's set up and designed by the technology, the internet. You can't go back to the papers. You see? So where we headed to? We heading towards the new world order. We heading towards the beast system. And he giving it to you in the fashion as in, yeah, we gotta stop it, you know, because they like to cheat. So with that technology, right? When they implement that technology of the digital ID and about the voting and shit, now they're saying they know all. Now we know who cheating, who ain't cheating, because it's counted for through the AI. Bullshit. Bullshit. Because how long did this ever been set and ran perfectly in the government? Always. That's bullshit. That's how you know that his words are smoother than butter. All right? His words are smoother than butter. That was a good game that he taught. You know, you had ears to hear. That was a good game. All right, because when you look at the outcome of this system being set up as in the digital ID, where it's going to lead to? Remember, he's trying to catch up with China. He's trying to catch up with the other nations that's already ahead of him in this technology. You see, so Esau got to overdo it. All right, and this is the time now that he's setting it up perfectly. That's why the scriptures say, once again, once becoming one of my favorite precepts, but Satan can now outsmart us. 2 Corinthians 2:11. All right? But Satan can now outsmart us. Why? Because we are familiar with his evil schemes, his plans, his plots, his strategy. We familiar with that. Why? Because the apostles and elders and great millstone on down to the least brothers, all right, which is prophesying and bringing out the true information, all right, about your salvation. You see? That is cold. Much like I say, you had to have the urge to hear that. You had to read between the lines. You know? So let's get a couple of y'all precepts real quick. This is Kazak Bunya Howard. This is Ecclesiastes known as Sirach 12:10. It said, never trust thy enemies. Right? Like as iron rusted shows his wickedness. And we seeing this devil showing his wickedness, showing his horn, but it's slowly but surely. All right, why? Because this is a characteristic of a snake. A snake do not attack his prey head on. No, he take his time. All right? The snake have patience, and this what the devil have, all right, you know, so to speak, right? Because he's not just coming out with the whole thing like, hey, do this, do that, do that. No, he bringing it slowly upon you. All right, and guess what? And when he get to that point, he gonna bite. All right, and just like Donald Trump when he came with that poem when he got inaugurated, you knew I was a snake. All right, so you by knowing how a snake move and how a snake operate, hey, there's the same way of these white people, man. The Edomites, especially the power that be. All right, because it's called gradualism. All right, it just don't go to one phase to another like in 10 seconds. Like remember nigga say, I turn to 100 real quick. No, it's gradualism. It's steps after steps after steps after steps. You see, until he got the people exactly what he wanted, and then that's when he gonna put the squeeze, just like a snake. When they had their prey, he just put the squeeze on them. All right, and that's what Esau finna do. All right, with these draconian laws. All right, when you go into Isaiah 10:1, we can't trust this devil no more. All right, now that we have the truth of Yahweh Shema Shah, we have the understanding of prophecy. You see, we know the outcome of the end of Babylon. We know the outcome, so we cannot be bamboozled anymore. We can't trust in this system. We gotta trust and lean on Yahweh Shema Shah, because that's the only way we're gonna make it out. And we gotta be able to endure Jacob trouble. See, Jacob trouble, you know, people just think it's gonna be a light thing. Yeah, we all gonna catch hell for a minute, and then no, that's because sooner or later, guess what? The destruction gonna come. The sorrow is gonna come. The mourning gonna come. The devastation. People, you know, upset, mad, crying, howling. Like the scripture say, for vexation of spirits. You know, people in the uproar. You know, people own one. They ain't finna turn down. See, those are times that we gonna need Yahweh Shema Shah. I know I ain't got time for that shit. You know, got to constant watch behind my back. You know, fight niggas off and shit. I ain't got time for that. My trust in the Lord. You know, I'm going to depend on the Lord, all right, to deliver me and keep me, you know what I'm saying, exempt, all right, from the sad perils, man. The Lord just keep me preserved from that. I ain't got time for that. You see? So you should feel the same way. So in order to get that protection, that hedge, that covering, that shield, is to put your trust in Yahweh Shema Shah now. All right? Put your trust in Yahweh Shema Shah now. You know, don't wait till later. Because it said that make no tarry and turn to the Lord. But it said never trust thy enemies, but like as iron rusted, so as his wickedness. Because this devil was designed by the Heavenly Father from the beginning, even before the world was created. All right, these people that rule the earth right now, the Edomites, all right, was designed, all right, to bring evil on the earth. That's all he knows. Now we got the understanding of who is who. Oh, damn, so in the Bible, the serpent is talking about the white people? Yeah. You mean to tell me the Bible, the devil, is talking about the white people? Yeah. Why? Because they actions. You see? And that's why you got to have spiritual eyes to see. All right? Because when the earth was given to the hand of the wicked, who promote wickedness in the earth? Who go opposite according to the laws of the Lord? You see? But now we receive this understanding. The Lord said never trust him. All right? Because guess what? Eventually he gonna show his horn. He gonna show his horns. Eventually this devil gonna show his horns, and Jake gonna be like, damn, man, I should have listened to the prophets. Yeah, you should have listened to the prophets. You see? Because we cry and week in and week out, in season, out of season, to return back into the Lord. You see? Return back to Yahweh Shema Shah. All right? Because the devil is coming with great wrath. All right? But going to, Ecclesiastes 12:11, it said, though he humble himself. Yeah. See how smooth Trump talk? Trump don't talk in the fit of rage. He ain't beating on the fucking table. You know what I'm saying? He ain't pointing fingers and getting loud. No. He talking calm. All right? He talking in a humbler sense. Right? But though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. He's talking a good ass game. Yeah, we need the digital ID. We gotta throw away because they cheating. All right, let's see where it lead to. It gonna lead right to the MOTB, because this whole system of America is gonna become a digital system. Everything gonna be going and dealing with transaction. Therefore, he can keep track of everything. You see, this is what the devil finna do. All right, because I know I had showed the video last night where Trump was speaking about the missiles. All right, and speaking about how, you know, with the digital ID, all right, that's how it's gonna be ran. You don't want shop like a thigh, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? You still on that thing, but not. Hey, shalom, brother. But yeah, this is Kazakh Bunny and Howard again. Yeah, that's the joint I wanted. Yeah, Psalms 55 and 2. It said, though the word of his mouth was smoother than butter, all right, but it said war was in his heart, meaning his mind. Why? Because the Lord has set that up in his heart to bring that. Proverbs 16:4. It said, the Most High Yahweh created all things for himself, yea, even wicked for the day of evil. All right, so the Most High set it up in this devil's heart to bring evil on the earth, bad times on the earth. All right, so this in his heart. Why? Because the Most High had programmed it in his heart. All right, and it says his word was smoother than oil, but yet they were drawing swords. And this devil was giving that great sword to take peace from the earth. So when you ain't got no water to drink, you ain't got no food to eat, you don't have your accessories to keep you, you know what I'm saying, stable and able to continue to the next day, guess what? That was that devil. All right, that you put your trust in. All right, that's why I say, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Now, let me show y'all this video real quick. Again, with Donald Trump. All right, and it's only for education purpose use only, fair use. Salaki. All right, check this out. What? I'm trying to say Salaki. Them motherfuckers try to take me out, man. Come on. It's like all the shit coming to the phone and just the Wi-Fi on. So every time I try to press the button, it click on the other thing. So it's like it. But yeah, check this video out though.
Great philosophers that said the world will end in the Middle East. We're not going to let that happen. You've heard that expression. Yeah. They said the world will end someday in the Middle East. We're not going to let that happen.
See? Hey, that's backing up that he shall speak great words against the Most High. You go to Daniel, let me grab that real quick. Daniel 7:25, and then I'm going to end this. I got to take my ass to work. Got 10 minutes. But let me get this for sure. This is Daniel 7:25. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. All right, because when you go up, that's how you know it's speaking about Esau, Edom. It's going to the 10 horns. All right, but it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. You see that? And that great word that he's speaking against the Lord to tell the Lord that he not going to let that happen. He telling the Lord, yeah, you got plans to destroy the earth, but I'm not going to let that happen. You got plans to destroy the world, I'm not going to let that happen. Who the fuck is you? But this the pride of their heart. All right? Let's just show you that that's in the sense of him hard and Pharaoh heart. For him to say that, all right, that nigga heart is hardened. His mind. But it said he shall speak great words against the Most High Yahweh. Because that's the Most High. All right? The Heavenly Father Yahweh. And it said, it shall wear out the saints of the Most High, which he is. Our necks are under persecution daily. We is worn out. Even motherfucker don't even work is worn out. Mentally, spiritually, physically, we worn out. it says, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hands until a time and times and dividing the time. They're speaking about this fucking devil, man, who the earth was given into for this appointed time. All right, to fulfill prophecy. All right, as this kingdom will be destroyed by fire. All right, and Yahweh shall come to deliver the elect and set up the kingdom in righteousness. As in the prayer, when you go to Matthew, the 6th chapter. All right, all order from the heavens be finna be set on earth. All right, righteousness. But first, this place got to be taken out and it's going to be cleansed by fire. This a proud ass devil, man. Let's listen to it again. It's a proud devil.
Well, listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I really appreciate it. Guys,
The Middle East is rapidly changing. You know, there are prophets that say the world will come to an end in the Middle East. You know that, right? And we have weapons today that are so scary. When you look, I rebuilt them all. And when you look at the weapons we have today, the biggest threat we have in the world today is nuclear weapons.
600.
How? Because the earth was given to them. And remember, when you go into that blessing that he was given as the time we in now by Isaac, what did he give him? He gave him a sword. And that sword is tied to what? The missiles. You see? And they giving that power, that technology, the smelt that blow it in the cold. But it's for their destruction when he do not know. And that's the Most High Yahweh when you go to Psalms, the 2nd chapter. All right, Psalms 2 and 8. And said, he that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh. Who sitteth in the heavens? The heavenly Father Yahweh. All right, shall laugh. All right, and have them in derision. So ultimately, Esau Edom is blind to the fact. All right, but guess what? And soon, in due time, he gonna know that it was the heavenly Father Yahweh that does it. All right, we've been given that spirit to understand now, but guess what? Everybody gonna know soon. So Lord willing, y'all brothers and sisters edified. Next time, Shalom. Abba Barak Ha'akim. All right, and may the Lord continue to bless y'all morning.